Alright, y'all, I want to say something before I start this haircut tutorial. This haircut was difficult for me. I am a student to my craft, and I just want to let y'all know that um, I did this haircut and recorded it because I'm looking for any kind of tips and techniques or tricks that y'all can help me with. That way the haircut can be a better result. Now I'm starting to understand that you have to educate your clients on specific haircuts for that client specific, head shape. This client came in, showed me a picture of Sergio Ramos, and I just decided to do it, not knowing about like the ridge of the hair, keeping it proportionate all the way through. Whenever I drop my fade, making sure that the bulk is dropping with it. So with that being said, I'm a student to my craft. I'm always wanting to learn. This is not a haircut tutorial to say I killed this haircut. I think the blend came out good, but this is some good content, don't get me wrong. But again, I'm always willing to learn. So if y'all have any kind of tips or techniques that y'all are willing to help me out with, I would definitely appreciate it. Any feedback is good feedback. Make sure you drop a comment below. That way we can help each other out, help each other grow. Team Gifted, I hope y'all enjoyed this haircut tutorial. Again, we are learning together. Let's get it. Alright, so let's go ahead and jump right into this haircut tutorial. Enough with my rants. Right here, I'm going to go ahead and start scissor cutting the top. That way I can shape the top of the client's head to blend the sides from a ball fade to, a lot of bulk on top. So what I'm doing is I'm probably cutting about 1/2 inch, just kind of knocking off some of the bulk, kind of soften it up a little bit. I'm using a Tomb 45 shears, and they are super sharp. Like they cut, they cut through hair like crazy. But I'm telling you guys, this client's hair that is literally, I'm humble enough to say his hair is my kryptonite. It's crazy because like I have met my match, and I love challenges, don't get me wrong, but every time this client sits in my chair and I'm cutting his hair, I'm like, bro, I have never cut a hair texture like yours. It's almost like cutting Brillo pad. It sucks to say that, but that's how thick the hair texture is. And even when you do thinning shears, it's still super thick hair. Like the Bronze Series 9 shaver that I use for the ball fade on this haircut, it was having some difficulties knock it down to skin. It was crazy. It was crazy, y'all. You could tell how thick his client's hair is just by seeing how it's combing out. But again, I'm willing to learn. I like a challenge, and I basically just did what the client wanted. But now I'm starting to know how to educate clients on our professional, perspective on a certain haircut, right? We can tell the client one thing, but if they're just set on, no, I want that type of haircut, then just do it. But just let them know, like, I don't think it's gonna look as good as what I'm trying to do, and I'm learning to do that. I'm just making sure I'm cutting about 1/2 inch, just using that guideline that I use on the other side. And I cut next to Chris Bazio in the shop, and I'm learning about the ridges of the client's head, the parietal ridge, the perimeter, making sure it's even all the way through. So I'm just taking it day by day and learning as I go. So like I said, this is not like, some barbers are gonna notice certain things, but the average client is gonna think it's a fire haircut. But I'm humble enough to say that like, this was a difficult haircut for me to do. I definitely cannot do this haircut in 30 minutes. I have this client book a haircut and beard. He don't even have facial hair. Just for the time, it's like 45 minutes that it allows me to cut his hair. So right here I'm using the Wall Retro T-Cut trimmers to create my guideline. And I'm kind of dropping it in the back because Sergio Ramos' haircut is real dark around, you know, the occipital bone area. So I'm making sure I'm going to try to keep that dark. Now I do give myself room to blend. I stick with that. I do believe in giving yourself at least a half of an inch to an inch per guideline. So right here I just grabbed, I believe this is the 3-guard open, and I just wanted to soften up that line a little bit, that bulkiness. And then right off the back I'm using the Wall Cordless Seniors with the lever all the way open. This is my half guideline, and then I go to the lever all the way closed, and then work my way to the dark line with, you know, from the lever being closed, I put it in the middle, and then that half guideline is taken out. Now you may have to go back and use your trimmer to knock off the bald guideline that you know, if you accidentally set with the shaver, but don't spend time trying to knock it out with your clippers. Whatever you set that line with, you got to take it out with. Your clippers may be 0 gap, so it may be, you know, easy to take that line out, but I don't waste any time. I just grab my trimmers and knock that line out. But you want to have a soft touch when it comes to using the shaver. That way you don't create that guideline, because it does suck trying to get that line out. Especially if you're just starting out. If you set a hard line with the shaver, you're going to see it. Like, it's like almost impossible to get it out. I'm just doing some lever play, and like I said, guys, you know, the hair texture is crazy, so I go back and making sure that I'm detailing my work as I go. Now I jump to the 1-guard lever all the way open, keeping that guideline the same shape. So again, I go from a lever all the way open to it closed, and then put it in the middle. I usually go open, middle, close, but I don't know, I was just feeling to go open, close, middle. Now this is my 2-guard. I would jump to my 1.5 guard, but I want to keep my blend a little dark, you know, lower. So doing that allows me to keep my blend lower, going from a 2 and then coming back to the 1.5. Versus going straight into the 1.5 and then into the 2. It kind of raises the not raises the blend necessarily, but it's not as dark as I want it to be, if that makes any sense. And wherever the part is in his hair, that's his natural part. That's where the hair falls. So I went off of that. I believe this is a 3-guard all the way open. And I'm not trying to cut into that bulk. I want to kind of leave it. So I kind of like scoop towards me. That way I don't create a guideline. Now I jump to the 1.5 guard, lever open, and I'm just working my way to the closed position. This time I use the 1.5 open, middle, close transition with the lever. And then I found myself going back to the 1-guard lever open just to remove some dark spots with the corner of the blade, or guard rather. So after I was done with this haircut, I showed Chris Bazio, you know, the end result. Because I always ask for, you know, constructive criticism. I'm not afraid of getting negative or positive feedback. If it's gonna help me, you know, be a better barber, then I accept it. You know, I used to just be like, man, you can't tell me nothing. Trust me, I let that get the best of me. But I'm willing to learn. You know, you can. I've only been cutting hair for 6 years, and when people say they've been cutting hair for 20 years and they know it all, you know that saying, you can never teach an old dog new tricks, that goes out the window. You can always learn, always have an open mind to learning. So when I showed him the end result, he kind of showed me and broke it down to me on on how I could have did it better, how I could have kept that bulk a little lower, going with the way that the blend was going. So you learn from your mistakes. As long as you learn from your mistakes and take it as motivation to get better, it helps. It helps. So now I'm on my half guard. I started with the lever open, put it in the middle, and then closed it. And as you can tell, the blend's starting to come together. Something about that half guard, I have to use it. Some barbers don't. But since I set my guidelines and I commit to my guidelines, I have to use my half guard. If you have a soft touch and you let the guard do its work and you don't necessarily set your guidelines in, then you can skip guards. And you don't even have to do like the middle of the lever. You can go open to close or close to open. Now this is no guard, lever all the way open, and I'm favoring the left and right side of the clipper. That way I can blend, those dark spots in. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and speed up this side. It's really the same steps. So if you follow the other side, and because I explained it pretty well, you do the same exact steps to this side. So I'm gonna let the music play and let y'all enjoy this. It's sped up on this side, so I'm gonna let y'all enjoy this side. I'm gonna stop talking.
One of the hottest, the house of creations. One of the hottest, the house of creations.
Alright, so now we're going to start lining him up. I'm using the Andes Slimline Pros. I believe these are the 2s. They're not the LIs. They do hit. They're not necessarily zero gap. They're more adjusted. That way I can use them on kids and adults. I am a heavy-handed barber, so I don't want to put them too close. So right here I'm going to go ahead and he already has like a natural hairline. I'm just going to basically like line up the veins a little bit. He didn't want to, push it to where the the actual, you can see like actual hair follicles. Some barbers, some clients, want to line up the bangs, so that's what I'm doing. Decided to use my duck clips to put the hair up. That way I can line up the front. Right here I switched to my retro T-cut trimmers. These hit as well too. Right here I'm doing some razor work. As you can tell, I'm not really, cutting a lot of hair, so I just dry shaved it. And then I'm gonna go ahead and put the Tomb 45 indestructible clay. It's more of a matte look. It's dry, there's no shine to it. You wanna, make sure you get it, warm it up in your hands, and it almost looks transparent whenever it's ready to be applied. Just kind of put it in the roots of the hair, mess up the hair a little bit. And once I put that product in, it basically styled itself. Like, as you can tell, like, that's, you can see the texture. It looks real nice. So again, I hope y'all enjoyed this haircut tutorial. Again, this is a learning experience for me. Hope it's a learning experience for you all as well. Go ahead and add like a small little accent piece. Add some style to it. Just twist that hair right there with the product in your hand. Here's the finished product. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I hope you like it. Make sure you subscribe, share, and comment. Team Gifted, stay gifted.